A social media influencer came into Arlington National Cemetery, thinking she could make fun of the guards near the tomb of the unknown soldier. But she didn't anticipate this holy spot to deliver her a strong lesson about respect and honor. In 2025, it's a cool May morning at Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia. The air smells like fall, as golden leaves blow slowly over rows and rows of white headstones, each one a silent reminder of sacrifice. The sky is a light blue with clouds floating by, and a soft wind rustles the trees, telling stories of the people who rest here. The tomb of the unknown soldier, a marble monument that shines in the early sun, is in the middle of the hallowed land. The tomb guard, which is made up of soldiers from the 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment, watches over it day and night. Their steps are exact, down to the second. Their silence is a powerful tribute to those who gave their lives and whose names we will never know. Today, this sacred spot, full with history and respect, is about to see a fight, not with weapons but with pride and principle. A lesson is coming that will affect more than just these old stones. Please tell us where you're watching from before we go on with the story. If you appreciate stories like these, subscribe to the channel because we have another one for you tomorrow. People are gathering in the plaza, and their footsteps make a soft crunch on the gravel path. People from all across the country and abroad take pictures, and the sound of their cameras clicking sounds like crickets in the distance. Kids point with excitement, but parents tell them to be quiet since they can feel the heaviness of this location. Veterans straighten up a little straighter and look at the tomb's recognized lines. Vanessa Caldwell, a 35-year-old social media influencer with 1 million followers and an ego that fills the area around her like a storm cloud, is one of the visitors. Her well-fitted black athleisure suit screams money, and she already has her phone out. As she live streams to her viewers, a camera is recording everything she does. V, whose real name is Vanessa, is not here to pay her respects. She's come to cause trouble and get attention in an area that needs respect. She has created her image by pointing out fakes and what she regards as overhyped heroes or traditions. Today, she set her eyes on the tomb garden, sure that their strict march is all for show for tourists. "What's up, V-Hive?" she shouts into her phone. Her voice is loud and sure, breaking through the calm like a siren. "Your girl is at Arlington, ready to expose this whole Tumbardu thing. Look at these guys marching in their fancy uniforms like wind-up toys. I bet I can make one flinch. Show they're not as tough as they act. Who's with me? Drop those fire emojis. Let's make this go viral." Her comments hit the gathering like a stone in still water, making them feel uneasy. A family nearby stops, their faces showing both interest and unease. Tom Harper, a 42-year-old former Marine with a calm strength carved into his weathered face, stands with his 12-year-old daughter Lily, who is wide-eyed and holding a small American flag with tattered edges from being carried on school field trips. Tom's hair is becoming gray and is hidden under a worn baseball cap. A Marine Corps pin on his jacket is a remembrance of his time in Iraq. He hears Vanessa's insults and his eyes narrow. His jaw tightens with a familiar anger. "Dad, why is she being so loud?" Lily murmurs, her voice quiet and curious. "This place is so special, isn't it?" Tom's voice is low and steady, like someone who has witnessed the high price of freedom up close. "It's more than special, Lily. This is where we remember the heroes who never came home, soldiers who gave everything so we could be free. Some people just don't get it. They think it's all a show." Maria Gonzalez, a 30-year-old schoolteacher from Chicago, hears Vanessa's statements and frowns a few steps away. She is on a class excursion with her students, and her dark eyes spark with displeasure as she whispers to a coworker, "Who does she think she is talking like that here?" Kevin, a young man who works with her, agrees and says, "This isn't a theme park." He is looking at Vanessa. He mutters, "Some people need to learn the hard way." Sentinel Michael Torres, or Mike, gets ready for his duty across the plaza. Mike is 28 years old and a veteran of battle. He completed 2 deployments in Syria, where he was ambushed and hit by IEDs that caused scars that are both obvious and concealed. He now wears the silver Tomb Guard badge on his chest, which is a very rare honor. His dark eyes are intense, and he moves with purpose. Each step shows how disciplined he was to get through the worst times. Mike doesn't think of guarding the tomb as a job. It's a vow, a commitment to the dead that their sacrifice will never be forgotten. The crowd goes quiet as the ceremony starts. Mike steps outside with his M14 gun, perfectly poised on his shoulder. His navy blue outfit is clean, his white gloves are clean, and his boots shine like polished obsidian. 21 steps, a break, and a turn. Every movement is a memorial to those who have died, a ceremony based on respect. The throng watches in stillness, their phones down and their breaths held. But Vanessa just sees a chance to go viral and get more people to know about her brand. She pushes through a group of visitors who are glaring at her and mumbling complaints, disregarding them. She gets closer to the restricted area with her phone held high. "Look at this beehive," she replies, her voice smirking and strong. "He's acting all serious, but I bet he's just wearing a costume. Let's see how tough he really is. If I get 500 likes, I'll get right up in his face. Let's make this go viral." Maria Gonzalez shakes her head and crosses her arms. "She's being rude to everyone here," she says quietly to Kevin. "Those soldiers aren't here to make her laugh." Kevin nods, his jaw stiff. "She's going to find out what happens when you mess with the tomb garden." Sarah Jenkins, a park ranger in her 50s with gray hair pinned back, steps forward. Her radio crackles on her belt. "Ma'am, you need to step back," she adds in a firm, professional voice. "This is a no-go zone, and the Sentinels won't stop for anyone." Vanessa laughs, and her voice sounds like she doesn't care. "Restricted? Come on, it's a public cemetery. I'm Vanessa Caldwell. Maybe you've seen my videos. I don't do step back. Besides, this is just a show for tourists, right?" Sarah's eyes widen, but her voice stays calm and firm. "This isn't a show, ma'am. The Tomb Guard are active-duty soldiers who are honoring the unknowns. Move back now, or we'll have to escort you out." Vanessa rolls her eyes, and the red light on her phone keeps blinking like it's accusing her. She stands defiantly just beyond the rope barrier, inches from Mike's path. The crowd moves around nervously, and their whispers get louder. A man with a Vietnam veteran cap whispers to his wife, "She shouldn't be here if she can't respect the place." His wife nods and purses her lips. Tom bends down to Lily and speaks softly but firmly. "Pay close attention, Lily. Some lessons are hard to learn. Every step Mike takes is as precise as a metronome. His face is a mask of self-control, but his eyes are sharp from years of looking for danger. He notes where Vanessa is. She gets in the way and makes it harder for him to do his job. But the Tomb Guard's rules are clear. The mission is the most important thing." Vanessa gets louder when her live stream's view count goes up, like a slot machine. "Hey, soldier boy," she yells in a mocking and biting voice. "Bet you can't keep that poker face if I get in your way. Come on, show us you're human. Vihij, let's get this to 1,000 likes. Drop those hearts, let's break the internet." Lily pulls on her dad's sleeve and seems worried. "Dad, she's going to get in trouble, isn't she?" she asks in a little voice. Tom nods, looking calm but determined. "She's in trouble already, kiddo. She just doesn't know it yet." Maria Gonzalez turns to her kids and speaks in a quiet, agitated voice. "Kids, this is why we talk about respect in class. That woman is making a big mistake." One of her classmates, a tall teenager called Jamal, takes out his phone and films what Vanessa is doing. He shakes his head and adds, "This is going to be all over TikTok." Sarah points to a nearby security guard named Derek, who is a young man. He starts to walk toward Vanessa, but Vanessa takes a brave step over the line and enters the restricted area, standing right in Mike's way before he can get to her. The crowd gasps and their voices rise in horror. An old woman holds her husband's arm and whispers, "She's crazy." Mike's steps keep going, bringing him closer. "Ma'am, this is your last warning," Sarah shouts, her voice loud and angry. "Make way now." Vanessa's voice is defiant as she talks on the phone, and her eyes shine with a thrill of disobedience. "Last warning." Shuck her feet. Let's see what happens when Vanessa Caldwell stands her ground. This is going viral. Beehive, keep those likes coming. We're already at 2,000. Mike gets to Vanessa. He does a perfect shoulder check without losing his stride, which is a maneuver he has practiced for such situations. It's not violent, yet it's strong enough to clear the way without hurting anyone. Vanessa loses her footing and falls hard on the stone plaza, getting dirt on her fancy clothes. Her phone falls out of her grasp and across the ground, still recording with its camera. The live broadcast shows everything. Vanessa's horrified face, her hair tumbling out of its immaculate bun, the crowd's shocked faces, and Mike walking on without a care in the world, his boots clicking with perfect timing. Vanessa gets up quickly, her face scarlet with rage and her breath coming in rapid gasps. "He pushed me," she cries, and her voice echoes across the plaza. "That thug attacked me. I'm Vanessa Caldwell. I'll get him fired for this. I'll shut this whole place down." At the end of his 21 steps, Mike stops, turns, and faces the tomb. His posture is perfect, His focus is complete, and his discipline is a wall that Vanessa's outburst can't break. Vanessa isn't done yet, though. She picks up her phone off the ground, brushes herself off, and storms towards Sarah, her heels clicking violently on the stone. "You saw that?" she screams, pointing at Sarah. Her voice is high-pitched with anger. "He attacked me. I want his name, his rank, and everything else. My lawyers are going to take over this place and tear it apart." Sarah keeps her stance, her face serene but firm. "Ma'am, you were told many times," she says in a calm voice. "The Sentinels have the right to clear their path. You chose to stand there." Vanessa's voice gets higher and higher, and she wields her phone around like a weapon. "Obstacles? I'm an American who pays taxes. This isn't a military base, it's a tourist spot. That guy is just a fancy mall cop." The crowd's whispers became louder, a mix of disbelief and contempt. The Vietnam veteran shakes his head and speaks in a rough voice. "She has no shame," he says under his breath. His wife nods, and her eyes narrow. Maria Gonzalez talks to her students in a forceful voice. She continues, "This is what happens when you don't respect a place like this. That soldier is doing his job, and she's acting like a fool. Yo, she's trending for all the wrong reasons now," Jamal whispers to his pal while he is still recording. Tom Harper steps up, and the Marine Corps pin on his jacket shines. His voice is low, but it sounds like he has a lot of expertise. "Ma'am, that mall cop is a soldier who's probably seen more combat than you can imagine," he says in a firm, steady voice. "This tomb is for men and women who died. You shouldn't be standing here complaining about your brand. Show some respect or leave." The audience whispers in agreement, and a few people clap, their applause echoing in the morning air. Vanessa turns on Tom, her eyes full of anger. "Respect," she snaps, her voice dripping with cynicism. "For what? A guy marching in circles like a robot? I've got 1 million followers who will eat this up. Wait until they see soldier attacks influencer. That's the headline, buddy, and it's going to trend worldwide." Lily walks forward. The grown-ups around her are much bigger than she is, but her voice is clear and sweet. "But he's not just marching," she continues, and her voice is steady and serious. "My dad says the unknowns are heroes who never got to go home. Why don't you care?" Vanessa stops in her tracks because Lily's innocent question surprises her. The crowd goes quiet and stares at her, waiting for her to say anything. For a moment Vanessa's swagger wavers. Her lips part as if to speak, but she stands her ground, her voice sharp and defensive. "Kid, I care about real things like my brand, my platform, and my truth. This is just a show for tourists. You'll understand when you're older." The crowd boos gently, and you can tell they're upset. A college girl shakes her head and whispers to her companion. She's embarrassing herself. 2 police officers from Arlington show up, their boots heavy on the stone. Officer Emily Chen, a lady in her 30s with piercing eyes, strides forward with a notebook. Officer Mark Evans, an old pro with a wrinkled face, stands next to her with his arms crossed. "Ma'am, I'm Officer Chen," Emily begins in a calm, professional voice. "We have a lot of witnesses who say you ignored warnings and blocked a sentinel. Can you explain?" Vanessa waves her arms around and yells, her words spilling over each other. "Explain. I was attacked. That soldier threw me to the ground. I'm the victim here. I'm the one who's hurt. Look at my clothes, they're ruined." Mark's voice is dry and dismissive, which cuts through her rant. "Ma'am, we've seen the footage from the security cameras. You entered a restricted area after 6 warnings. The Sentinel followed the rules. You're lucky you weren't hurt worse." Vanessa's live stream is still going, and the comments are harsh, hitting her screen like a digital storm. "Epic fail v Sun," one says. "Learn some respect," says one. "You just got owned," says another. Her followers, who used to be devoted, are now turning against her, and their comments hurt more than the fall. Her hands are shaking as she holds her phone, and her manicured nails scrape into the case. "This is a setup," she replies, her voice full of fear and desperation. "I'm Vanessa Caldwell. My fans will wait. What's going on with my views? They're going down. This can't be happening." Captain Laura Bennett, the commander of the Tomb Guard, walks across the square, and everyone looks at her. Her outfit is perfect, with no wrinkles and medals that shine in the sun. She is 40 years old and has worked in conflict zones, and as a leader, her gray eyes are steadfast and won't change. Laura adds, "Mrs. Caldwell, I've looked into the incident." Her voice is calm but has an air of authority. "Sentinel Torres did what he was supposed to do. The Tomb Guard are not actors putting on a show for your entertainment. They are soldiers honoring the dead, men and women who died without ever knowing fame. Your actions got in the way of that duty, and you disrespected this sacred ground." Vanessa stutters, her voice full of disbelief, and her hands fly around. "Disrupted. He pushed me. That's assault. I'll sue this whole cemetery. I'll have every lawyer in DC. On this my followers will bury you." Laura's tone is calm, and her statements are clear and to the point. You can file a complaint, but I suggest you read Section 7 of the Arlington National Cemetery Act. It is a federal crime to interfere with a sentinel's duty, and you could be fined or sent to jail for it. You're lucky you're only being asked to leave. This is a warning, not a negotiation. Vanessa's face goes pale, and her confidence falls apart like dry leaves. For the first time she understands how serious her error is, the weight of the land she ruined. Some people in the crowd shake their heads and whisper about how arrogant she is. The Vietnam veteran speaks out, his voice rough and firm. I'm from Da Nang, he adds, looking straight at Vanessa. This tomb is for my friends who never came home, not for your stupid internet games. His wife agrees, her voice quiet but forceful. You should be ashamed. Maria Gonzalez looks at her kids with a voice that is both angry and determined. This is why we teach you about giving up, she explains. That woman thought she could make fun of our heroes, but now she looks small. Jamal lowers his phone and speaks softly. I'm posting this but not to make fun of it. People need to know what not to do. Tom talks to Lily in a quiet voice that stays stable in the middle of the commotion. See, Lily, actions have consequences. The tomb doesn't bend for anyone, even if they think they are famous. Lily nods, her eyes shining with understanding. I bet she's sorry now, she adds, sounding like she's thinking. I hope she learned something. Emily Chen moves closer to Vanessa. Her tone is tough but fair, and her notebook is ready. Caldwell, you can come with us to give a statement or we can arrest you for trespassing and being disorderly, she says in a direct and firm voice. Make your choice, but do it quickly. Vanessa's voice is high-pitched, terrified, and cracking under the stress. Arrest? You can't. You don't know who I am. I'm Vanessa Caldwell. I have rights. Mark's voice is dry and deadpan, which cuts through her hysteria. We know exactly who you are. Right now, though, you need to make a choice before we do it for you. Vanessa glances around, her eyes moving from face to face, looking for help, for one person in the crowd who can help her. But all she sees are severe faces, condemning looks, and heads shaking. Her live stream has stopped working, the screen is frozen, and a lot of her fans are leaving. She looks at Mike, who is still watching over the tomb. His shadow seems like a statue of duty against the marble. His face is blank, and his eyes are on the horizon, but he feels like he's judging you. A spark of shame crosses Vanessa's eyes, and her armor cracks. She remembers her father, who worked in a factory, and taught her how to stand up for herself and fight for her position in the world. He would be shocked to see her now, using her strength to make fun of a place of honor. Fine, she murmurs quietly, her voice weak and hard to hear. I'm going, but this isn't over. I'm still Vanessa Caldwell. Emily and Mark take Vanessa away, and her screams fade into the distance, drowned out by the sound of leaves rustling and Mike's steady footsteps. People start to leave, their voices hushed and their phones out of sight. Some stay behind and observe Mike with new admiration, their eyes following his every move. The Vietnam veteran and his wife hold hands for a little longer. The veteran says, "That soldier has more honor in one step than she's had in her whole life." His voice is full of emotion. His wife holds his hand tightly, and her eyes are watery. But one individual stays behind and won't leave. Lily pulls on her dad's hand and points at Mike. Her small American flag waves in the wind. "Can we stay a little longer, Dad?" she begs with a serious tone and a sense of wonder. "I want to see him. He's important." Tom smiles, and his heart fills with pride. "Sure, kiddo," he answers in a proud, warm voice. "Let's stay and honor him." Maria Gonzalez calls her students together. Her voice is steady but full of promise. "Come on, kids," she urges, "but don't forget what you saw today. Respect isn't just a word, it's a choice." Jamal nods and keeps his phone in his hand. He says, "I'm going to tell everyone about this, not to make fun of her, but to show what this place means." The tomb guard keeps watch. Every step was a promise honored to the unknowns. Mike Torres doesn't guard the grave to get famous or get rich. He does it for the warriors who never returned home, for the families who never got answers, and for a country that often forgets what it means to give up. He thinks about his best friend who died in Syria from an IED. He still hears his friend's laughter in his nightmares. Mike thinks, "This is for you," and his heart beats steadily with his steps. Vanessa Caldwell learned something today, not just about regulations, but also about how to treat others with respect. She had respect for something bigger than herself, her business, and any short-lived popularity she might have. She came to Arlington to get famous and gain power in a place that values humility. But she left with a fact that will stay with her forever. Real power isn't about being different, being louder, or being popular online. It's about standing up for something and remembering those who gave everything for others. Vanessa thinks of her father again as she walks away with her head down. He advised her to improve and be better, and she wants to try for the first time in years. The tomb of the unknown soldier is a reminder that some things are more important than pride, followers, and headlines. The Sentinels watch over it not because it's simple, but because it's the right thing to do. Their silence is louder than any outcry, and their steps are a rhythm of honor that lasts through time. What about you? Have you ever seen someone become confused between duty and drama, or sacrifice and a show? Have you ever had to learn respect the hard way by dealing with the consequences of your own actions? Please tell us your stories in the comments. We read everything and want to hear what you have to say. If this tale made you feel something, please click the like button to let us know you want more. Sign up and turn on notifications so you never miss a story of bravery, honor, or harsh lessons learned. Tell someone who needs to hear this, someone who might need a reminder of what really important. Also, check out our playlist for more stories about the heroes who protect our history and give us hope for the future. Thanks for listening. Keep in mind that respect isn't just a word until next time. We all have to deal with it, and we make the choice every day.